What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zamboni. I am an herbalist and astrologer here in New York City. And it is time to talk about the astrology of the week ahead. So make sure and follow me on Instagram. I write every day about what is going on in the heavens, and it's a little more in-depth than the wide overview that we're going to do today. And then make sure and check me out on Patreon as well, where I am doing an Astro Basics course, and we're going to be getting more and more into practical enchantment as time goes on. So check me out there, and feel free to support. Thanks so much. So let's talk about this coming week then. So we just are coming off the full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn. That happened this weekend, and that was kind of it's a full moon, so it's a lot going on. It's a lot of feelings getting felt. We're like sort of scooping stuff out of this Capricorn set of things. This is the last eclipse that we're going to have in Capricorn for the next 9 years or something like that. And so that was it. Eclipses usually take about 6 months to take place, for everything to happen. So we're still going to be seeing some stuff going on, and that kind of initiates, a re-emphasis on cardinal signs. So the cardinal signs are Cancer, Capricorn, and Aries and Libra. And so for the last 2 years or something, it's been a lot of emphasis on Cancer and Capricorn, especially, but then Aries and Libra, because they're square to that, and it's just like a lot has been going on. And then in the spring, Saturn moved into Aquarius out of Capricorn, and that sort of took some of the pressure off. And then Mars went there with him, and it was just like most of everything sort of like moved away from that. But then now Saturn is back in Capricorn. Mars is now in Aries, which is another cardinal sign. And Mercury is in Cancer and is retrograde in Cancer. And that's going to be kind of what we talk about mostly today. So this last eclipse really set us back up to have emphasis on the cardinal signs again. So if you have cardinal angles or the sun or moon in one of these 4 signs that I just mentioned, then you're probably going to be, there's going to be a return to some of the themes that we've been looking at for the last 2 years or so. And some of that may have been kind of difficult, some of that may have been challenging, or make you irritable or something like that. We're coming back to a lot of that stuff. And there's going to be one more push through the end of the year. Saturn is going to move into Aquarius and out of Capricorn for keepsies in December of this year. And so it's kind of all pushing toward that. So this week, what we're looking at is we have Mercury in Cancer, and Mercury is retrograde right now, right? And so Mercury has been retrograde for a few weeks. This week, we're going to get Mercury turning around, stationing direct going forward. Now, normally during a Mercury station direct, when Mercury starts moving forward, then that typically feels like, this is working now. Like all of the troubles and the things that have been sort of like the delays and the miscommunication and the disorganization and all that sort of stuff, this feels better because Mercury is now moving forward. Unfortunately, this time things get a little more complicated. So on Wednesday, Mercury in Cancer is going to square Mars in Aries, and so So Mercury square Mars, that's probably, like angry words or, maybe being like blowing up at somebody over an argument or in an argument or something like that. Mars in Aries is very strong and forceful and upfront and direct, and doesn't really care what you think. Doesn't really care how you feel about it. And so Mercury is the message, right? Or the communicator, the one who transmits ideas. And so, if we think of Mercury as being the mailman, then Mercury is going to show up bearing parcels from Mars. And Mars often will be sort of aggressive and will not shy away from a fight, right? And so Mercury and Mars, that's going to happen on Wednesday, and then Mercury is going to station direct on Saturday, and then start to move forward. But since Mercury is going to be moving so slow because of the stop and then the turnaround, and then we're going to go forward again, Mercury and Mars are basically going to be square to each other for the rest of the month. This whole time, it's just going to be like Mercury slowly catching up to Mars. And so this kind of like Mercury square Mars dynamic is here to hang out for a little while. We're just going to be living in that for a little bit, where there's maybe some aggressive wordplay going on, or somebody mentioned that maybe this could be an energy that you could you could get to the point when you've been kind of like, I'm not sure if this person's mad at me, or I don't know how everybody is feeling about this situation, and there's like some eggshells going on, then this might be a good energy to be like, yo, what is going on? Like, what are we going to do about this? This is uncomfortable, and I don't feel like messing around with all this anymore. Like, if you hate me, then just like tell me about it so we can, scrap and move on. Like, I'm tired of this. So this could be a really good energy for doing that, for being direct, especially if Mercury in Cancer has been retrograde and kind of like not sure. There's like a lot of feelings involved in Cancer. Mercury retrograde sometimes doesn't say the thing, or doesn't say the thing directly. It's easy for Mercury to miscommunicate while Mercury is retrograde, right? And so what we're getting now is this square, and then turning direct, and then just kind of hanging out square to Mars. And that is going to that's going to grind some gears. That's going to, drive some irritation and some grump and some annoyance. And so that is likely to, get things out into the open. When I think about Mars and Aries, I'm definitely thinking about, a fight or a duel that happens out in the open. We can see it where it happens. Think about like a duel from a Western movie, right? Where there's two people and they're out in the middle of the road, and they each know that it's going to be time to draw their weapon, and everybody's watching, and it's in the middle of the sun, and it's like out here where it can be seen, right? This is Mars in Aries. And so Mars in Aries is going to want to get things all out in the open. Even if it means we're going to fight about it, then it's better to fight about it than it is to pretend like we're not in some kind of thing. And then here with Mercury, then we can maybe see that this might have to do with some words or some arguments or something like that. So, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. This is, even if Mercury and Mars maybe you don't have cardinal angles, maybe, you're more of a fixed or immutable person or something like that. And so this isn't going to be like super working you super hard. Just know that other people around you are going to be going through this. And if you are going through, some ragey, feelingsy, maybe I want to fight about it kind of feelings, then, that's okay. It's okay for you to do that. Just, keep an eye on your temper, keep an eye on your chill. Make sure that it's still good and frosty, because that can get out of hand pretty quickly with this kind of Mars-Mercury situation. And it's going to be here for a little while. And one thing that is, Mars in Aries is like the match. And so like burns super brightly, but then it goes out also super quickly. And it does that. So getting tired of something is something that Mars and Aries does. It comes out the gate super strong, but then it gets tired. And so, but since this is a situation that's going to be going on for a little while, it's going to be something that is likely to take people to the end of their rope. And so do what you can to make sure that you're okay in who you are and give people the space that they need. And also, if you need to have your fight, like, fight it out. Do the thing that you need to do so that everybody can be square again. Because it can be very difficult to just like have it in your mind where you're like, I don't know, and like, all this. It could be better to just like get scrappy for a minute and then move on from there. So there's a lot of opportunity for that this week. And so this week is really going to bring us back to, all right, so cardinal signs, we're doing this the rest of the year. Cardinal signs, it's your turn. It's your time to shine. It's your time to live out here. And so things are going to be really big and wild for the next few months. We're getting everybody in place, and it's going to be time to really start moving pretty soon. So Mercury forward this week. Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this, please make sure and follow me on Instagram. Check me out on Patreon. I also, you can DM me for a reading. I would love to do a reading with you. I always love hearing from people who are watching and listening and all that. So thanks so much. I will see you next time. Bye.